look at your smartphones for that. Now with the beautiful courthouse telling you it's 6 o'clock, and we are pleased to have you here at the Courthouse Plaza. My name's Patrick Ryan. I'm the general manager at News Talk 1037 FM Radio. And it was just a couple of weeks ago, months ago, that I sat down with the mayor of Chambersburg and Alan Kaufman, the town council president. I said, hey, why don't we have some sort of celebration when it comes to turning on the fountain for the very first time each year? And they said, that's a good idea. You should do something with that. So we did, and thanks to Noel Purdy and Dave Shimana and the mayor and all the folks that have been involved with our first ever, the inaugural Fire Up the Fountain. From this point forward and every year thereafter, we're going to have a Fire Up the Fountain ceremony. It's been here for a very long time. We've got a great historian here for you. Mike Marotte is going to tell you a little bit about a story about the fountain. We've got Kathy Chapel, our first ever firer of the fountain. So Kathy will be here to turn the fountain on for the first time. I'd like to introduce to you, you all know him, you love him, you can't live without him. He is the mayor of Chambersburg. Let's have a round of applause for Mayor Darren Brown. Mayor?
Thank you, Patrick. And I want to thank all of you for coming out today. This is a little low for me, by the way, so hopefully you can see my face. I'm just going to lean over. Anyhow, I want to thank you for coming out today, even in the rain. And I'm really glad we have Mike here because he knows so much about the history of Chambersburg and the Franklin County area. In fact, later, whenever I do read the proclamation, you're going to find that I have some inaccurate information in there. I just discovered it. I thought it was made in France. Mike can tell you that it's actually made in New York. So I'm going to hand it over to Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to welcome all you folks for coming out this evening for this great occasion. A little bit of history about the origin of this fountain. Back in 1861, with the beginning of the Civil War, the firing of Fort Sumter, the Chambersburg citizens were very upset. They decided to erect a 120-foot flagpole by the name of Liberty. It remained there until 1863. The end of June, when General Robert E. Lee and his Southern forces came to Chambersburg to make their fateful trip to Gettysburg, they took the flagpole down. After the Civil War was over, the local citizens thought it'd be very appropriate back in 1868 to try and raise funds for a memorial fitting for the Civil War soldiers. What had transpired, the ladies started collecting money, and it wasn't until about 1876 that the ideas were formulated, and the local business owners and citizens were getting alarmed that they wanted something to be worthwhile, suitable for what the Civil War veterans had went through. So in 1876, the local artisans of Chambersburg erected a fountain, the first fountain, which was a small one in the center of the diamond. 1878 rolls around, they had an opportunity to go to New York. A firm by the name of J.W. Fish. They went up there and they saw the most unique, ornate castings, fountains, and so on. And he was the leading manufacturer of fountains and castings at that time in the United States. The purchase price for this fountain was $1,700. Delegation went up there, they approved it, they bought it. It came to Chambersburg, and they were hoping when they started digging the foundation in April of 1878 to have this ready for Memorial Day. However, due to the slow process of that, it was not realized an actual formal dedication with the most unique speeches and the grand parade throughout Chambersburg was held on July the 17th, 1878. And as Paul Harvey would say, and now you know the rest of the story. So I turn this over to the mayor at this time, and thank you all once again for coming out.
Thank you, Mike. All right, and Kathy, will you come up? I'm going to read the proclamation, and as I said, next year it will be more accurate. So the thing is that this is a very unique proclamation because there will be none like that after this one. All right, so proclamation, Fire Up the Fountain Day, February and May 1st, 2015. Whereas of the best known local landmarks in Chambersburg is the 25-foot cast and wrought iron fountain located in the center of Memorial Square. And whereas the fountain was built in France, took first prize in the French display in the Philadelphia Centennial Exposition, which opened in 1876. And whereas it was purchased for $700 by the Soldiers Monumental Association of Franklin County, and moved to Chambersburg in 1878, where it has since graced the square. And whereas in 1978, the memorial fountain was listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and whereas in 2009, this distinctly recognizable landmark was approved by the Borough Council as the centerpiece of the official flag of the Borough of Chambersburg. And whereas today, this fountain still stands at the center of routes 11 and 30 as a memorial to all the military service members who fought and died in service to their country. And whereas on this first Friday of 2015, Kathy Chapel will be turning on the memorial fountain to signify the start of a new season that brings new life. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Borough Council, I, Darren Brown, Mayor of the Borough of Chambersburg, do hereby proclaim May 1st, 2015 as Fire Up the Fountain Day. Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nice job, Kathy. Very impressive. Okay, so Kathy won this by joining up on our Facebook page at News Talk 1037 FM. And Mr. Mayor, we had asked for a police escort to get Kathy safely across the road. I would like to wait for either the guys who are going to put the cones down before Women in Need has walk a mile in her shoes, because as much as I'd like to take you across the street here, I don't want to get us into any trouble traffic-wise or with the mayor, Mr. Mayor. So we're going to wait a couple of seconds before we send dear Kathy over here to throw the switch. And we'll ask for your patience. And thanks again to the Patriot Federal Credit Union for joining News Talk 1037 FM for our first ever Fire Up the Fountain. Looks like we're going to have a traffic jam anyway. Should we just go ahead and, do you feel comfortable in walking into traffic, Kathy?
Sure.
Okay, I like it. How about that? Spirit for Kathy. Let's go.
We can do it.
Student gave me flowers here.
Very good. Can we hold that for you?
Wasn't sure exactly
Okay,
where it
come on
was.
over here. All right, so this is the switch. All you have to do is push it up a little bit and it should start.
Okay.
All right, wait a second.
Are you ready?
Look this way.
Okay, kiddo.
Okay.
Throw it away.
I feel blessed and humbled. Thank you.
You're on, baby. Stay there while I get a picture. She didn't even have a dividing rod in her hand. You noticed that?
You're done.
Good job.